All right, so today we're going to be talking about the changes in state. Some of the concepts that you really need to focus on is how temperature is related to particle motion. Okay, so when you're taking the temperature of something, you're measuring how fast the particles are moving. How temperature and thermal energy are a little different, and what happens, this is a big one, what happens to thermal energy when matter changes from one state to another? And we're going to discuss all the states of matter and how they go from one to the other. Okay, big important concept right there. Throughout the video or the presentation, pause when you need to, write down your vocab and your definitions, and if you have any questions about anything, write that down as well. Okay. So here are some of the vocab words that we're going to go over throughout this presentation. Some of them may be familiar, some of them may be brand new. Still, let's go through them all, okay? And we're going to start with talking about kinetic energy again.
Kinetic energy. Energy due to motion.
This is on page 282. Now, what I want you to do is energy due to motion, but I want you to write in parentheses that the faster the particles move, the more kinetic energy they have. Go ahead and pause and write that down. The next word,
Temperature. The measure of the average kinetic energy of the particles in a material.
that's on page 282 as well. Basically, when you have a substance, the temperature increase means that the particles on average are moving faster. Okay, they're speeding up. Okay, so if I have a temperature and I'm there, when I get sick, my particles in my body are going faster. When I'm heating water, the particles go faster as the temperature rises. This is also on page 282. So just right here.
Temperature. The measure of the average kinetic energy of the particles in a material.
So how is temperature related to particle motion? Well, the higher the temperature, the faster the particles are moving. Okay, so if I read a temperature of, let's say, 30 Celsius and then 100 Celsius, the particles that are going at the 100 Celsius measurement are going a lot faster. Okay. Now, potential energy of particles typically increases as the particles get farther apart. Okay, that's potential energy, stored energy, and things like that. So the farther the object is from Earth's surface, the greater the gravitational potential energy. But that's very similar to that we've talked about. But look at the gases and solids now. Okay, so the gases in the ball, there's a lot of distance between them. While the solid of the ground, there's smaller distance. The higher I raise the ball, the bigger it's going to bounce because the gas is inside of the ball.
Thermal energy. The sum of the kinetic energy and the potential energy of the particles that make up an object.
This is on page 283, I believe. Now you can change an object's state of matter by adding or removing thermal energy. Okay, if I take away thermal energy, I slow down the particles. If I add thermal energy, I increase the speed of the particle. Now if there's enough thermal energy added or removed of an object, you can change its state. Okay, from a solid to a liquid to gas and vice versa. And we're going to dive into that here. So how do thermal energy and temperature differ? Well, temperature is the reading of how fast the particles are moving. Thermal energy is basically the heat that makes them go faster or slower. Okay, if I add heat, it goes faster. If I remove it, it goes slower. Now here's some good information. To change matter from a solid to liquid, you have to add thermal energy, okay, from a solid to a liquid. Now, once that solid reaches what we call the melting point, which you need to know, additional thermal energy is used by the particles to overcome their attractive forces. The particles move farther apart and potential energy increases. So, in a nutshell, as they say, when you add thermal energy to something that's solid, let's say an ice cube, you start to melt it, its melting point. When it starts to melt, the thermal energy makes the particles break apart and then they start sliding around, going from a solid ice cube to liquid water. Okay. Now, adding thermal energy to matter causes particles that make up the matter to increase kinetic energy, potential energy, or both. So here, let's pretend this is a heating curve and this is ice. It stays solid. Then at a certain temperature, it starts to melt. 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It's also the freezing point. Once it hits over that 32, it turns into a liquid as you heat it up. Okay? And the energy increases. Now freezing is the opposite of melting. Okay, freezing is the opposite of melting. The temperature at which matter changes from the liquid state to the solid state is called its freezing point. You need to know this word, and you need to know this. I know you've experienced this because we live in Minnesota, but freezing is the opposite of melting. It's when you go from a liquid to a solid. Okay? Now, the change in state from a liquid to a gas,
Vaporization. The change in state of a liquid into a gas.
this is on page 285. Go ahead and write this down. Now, vaporization occurs in a liquid. It's called boiling. And the temperature at which boiling occurs, it's called the boiling point. Okay? So water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. I believe it's 212 Fahrenheit. So that's one of the forms of vaporization, is when you're going from a liquid into a gas. Now there's two ways to do this. Again, you can boil stuff. And let's look here. Thermal energy. If you have your liquid, remember that graph we showed you earlier when it was melting? Well, now the liquid is getting warmer and eventually it hits its boiling point. And after it boils, if you've ever boiled water, it goes from a liquid, you start to boil it and you see the steam. That's vapor, that's the gas. Okay, then you see the gas or water molecules in the air. Now the second type of vaporization,
Evaporation. The process of a liquid changing to a gas at the surface of the liquid.
now this is on page 286. This comes from the Latin word evaporare, which means to disperse in steam or vapor. Evaporation is basically if you have a puddle outside and the sunlight or the radiation from the sun is warming up just the very top layer of water, those particles at the very top, and they start to go through vaporization and evaporate. Okay, so you need to know those two forms. Now when gas loses enough thermal energy, the gas changes to a liquid or condenses. Okay,
Condensation. The change of state from a gas to a liquid.
this is on page 286. Basically, you're removing thermal energy from the gas, and the particles start to slow down, and they start coming back together and sliding next to each other. That's from them going from a gas bouncing all over the place to slowing down and sliding around each other, going through condensation. If you ever had a soda in the summertime, you see this water droplets on the outside. Your can of Mountain Dew is not sweating, okay? It's not perspirating. What's happening is the gas particles are bouncing into that cold can of soda, and they're losing their thermal energy into the soda, and they start coming together again and going from a gas to a liquid. That's condensation. Now you have the next word.
Sublimation. The process of changing directly from a solid to a gas.
Like condensation, this word's on page 286. This is a challenging word for some students, so let's focus on this a little bit. Basically, you have a solid object, and one thing we're going to do is look at dry ice, which is solid carbon dioxide. And these particles are very tight, very low temperature, but they don't have time to go into the gas state because they're naturally a gas at room temperature. They go from solid right to gas, and they go boom, speed right through it. So write this down, pause it. Again, dry ice, from solid straight to gas. Now the opposite is deposition.
Deposition. The process of changing directly from a gas to a solid.
If you've ever gone out to the bus in the fall, you see a little bit of frost on the leaves or on the grass. That's deposition. That's where the temperature drops and they lose so much thermal energy so fast that water gas or moisture in the air, water vapor, slows the particles down before they can turn into a liquid and they go straight to a solid, which is frost. Okay, and both of these words are on 286. So again, deposition is a change in state from a gas to a solid without going through the liquid state, usually in common use at some legal testimony under oath. Now, water is the only substance on Earth, this is what's fantastic about water, that can be a solid, liquid, or a gas, okay? You have liquid water in our lakes and streams. On Earth, you see snow and ice, that's solid, and then there's water vapor, that's a gas, okay? Water's the only substance that exists naturally, I'm saying naturally, on its own without man helping it, in all three states. Now, at 0 degrees Celsius, water molecules vibrate so rapidly that they begin to move out of their place. Particles overcome attractive force and melting occurs. If you have water that's less than 0, and once you get up to 0, the particles start to break apart, and that goes from a solid to a liquid. That's where it's melting. Now, when water reaches 100 degrees Celsius, that's a boiling point. You have liquid water, it begins to change into water vapor. Now, cooling water vapor changes the gas to a liquid, and cooling the water further changes it into an ice. So when you remove thermal energy away from the water, from the gas, it turns it into a liquid, it condensates, and then when you continue to do that, it goes from a liquid to a solid. That's freezing, okay, and we need to know all of that. Now this picture right here, we're going to do a lab with this, but again, you have your solid state, melts, liquids, starts to boil, and then turns into a gas. If you went backwards, it would be gas, condensation, liquid, freezing, solid. So describe the changes in thermal energy as water goes from a solid to a liquid. Well, as you have to add thermal energy, and it causes the particles to start to break apart, separate, and slide around, going from a solid to a liquid. Melt. Now, when matter changes state, matter and energy are always conserved. This graph right here, you may want to draw this. I would suggest pausing this when I'm done talking and drawing this out because it's very, very, very important. Now you have solid. When you add thermal energy right here, you go from a solid, melts it, to a liquid. Now if you go through vaporization, do you remember the two kinds? Boiling and evaporation. When you go through vaporization by adding thermal energy, it turns it into a gas. Okay. Now if you want to reverse that, the gas, if you slow down the particles, take away the thermal energy, you go through condensation, you turn back into a liquid. From the liquid state, if you slow down the particles even further, you hit that freezing point, removing thermal energy, and you go to a solid. Now there's always the exception where solid can go right to gas, and that's through sublimation. That's when, like, if you can make a gas a solid like carbon dioxide, that's what they do for dry ice, very, very low temperature, very compressed. The particles don't like each other and they want to break away, so they don't want to be a liquid. They go straight from a solid to a gas. Now the opposite is true is when you have frost. When the temperature drops very rapidly, typically in the fall here in Minnesota, you see this frost on the grass, boom, deposition, removing thermal energy very fast, where the particles just get hit, slam into each other. They don't have time to slide around and be a liquid. They just go gas straight to solid. So again, you might want to draw this picture and have this. You can either use a new piece of paper, it's up to you, but this is a very important image to have. It may be up on a test later on. So in summary, all matter has thermal energy, and thermal energy is the sum of potential and kinetic energy. When thermal energy is added to a liquid, vaporization occurs. Okay, so remember boiling and condensation. When enough thermal energy is removed from matter, a change in state can occur. When you take away thermal energy or heat from matter, it changes state. So let's go through here. Think about if you can understand this. Which term refers to the average kinetic energy of all particles in an object? When you take its temperature. Okay, when you take its temperature, and go ahead and pause this to see if you can guess this before I click the button. Okay, which substance exists naturally on Earth as a solid, liquid, and a gas? If you said water, you are correctamundo. Water is the one that is a solid as ice, liquid as water, and gas as water vapor. You're actually breathing water vapor all the time. Which term refers to the change of state of a gas to a solid without going through the liquid state? This is one of those tricky words, from a gas to a solid. Deposition, okay? Deposition, that might be on a test. Okay, so let's think about this. Particles of matter have both potential energy and kinetic energy. Yes, they do. Particles are always moving, so that's a kinetic energy. And you increase the potential energy as you separate the particles more, like in a gas. That's why gas, like if you have a little lighter fluid, if you use it for charcoal when you barbecue, that starts on fire faster than the solid charcoal, okay, because it has more potential energy, chemical potential energy, if you must know. Now, when a solid melts, thermal energy is removed from the solid. Yes, when you're going from thermal energy is added when you melt something. When you